Okay, so here's the pond. We've got a waterfall feature. There's a single pump in the bottom, and the pump feeds through that tube, and it splits off and comes up to the grow bed and puts a little bit of water in there, and the rest of it goes around back through the filter and dumps out back through the waterfall. Let's pause the video and we'll show you.
Go.
Okay, so here on the grow bed, basically what happens is there's a siphon filter or siphon drain right here. It fills up to a certain point, overflows a tube that's standing up in the middle of this, and causes a vacuum, and it drains all of the water back out again. And it takes about 30 minutes to fill up to the point where it starts draining again. Once it starts draining, it comes out through a pipe down here and fills up this little bog garden. And we've got some papyrus plant in there. You'll probably need to clean that out a few times a year because it gets giant and can start to cause water to flow out of that area. So just want to keep an eye on it. It gets huge. You'll know when it's time to clean it out. The grow bed here, these are clay hydroton beads. They do a really good job at holding in moisture. So you can put any kind of plants you want. I would recommend not putting dirt in with the plants, but you can do little potted plants and stick them down in here. And it's a great place to start growing things. So we were doing pineapples. That's where all the pineapples in the yard kind of came from. So that's what's going on here. This guard here, you don't really want to take this out because as soon as you do, all the hydroton beads will flow in. It's going to be impossible to get them away from this tube here. It should be relatively maintenance free. Haven't really had to do anything with it in the years that we've had it set up out here. So should be good to go. Just put plants in, wait for them to grow, and pull them back out. All right. Pause it.
Go.
So here is where the power is for the pond. There's a tube here, and it runs all the way underneath the yard over to behind the air conditioning units, and just plugs in. There's just a normal extension cord going through there, and basically just brings power out here, so we don't have to have something running above the ground. There's a plug that goes to the pump, and a plug that goes to the UV clarifier light. And then if you wanted to get, I had some lights in the pond, but they went a couple of years ago. I hadn't bothered to replace them. So if you wanted to, you could put new lights down there and plug them into the power up there. The filter box back here needs to be cleaned out probably once every week or two in the summer. And during the winter, it can go longer between cleaning them out. You want to turn off the power to the pond before you get this out. And this is a giant biological filter. So once you turn off the water, the hose, the pump. So it looks gross, but it's doing its job. We've got multiple layers of filter media in here. And there's some that are still in the garage if you ever wanted to put new ones in here, but they probably almost never need to be replaced. To get at it, you have to unscrew this. This is used to distribute the water across the filters, and you can get some of the leaves and bigger debris out of here. And then basically just take these out one at a time, hose them off, and then put them back in. So you kind of see this one doesn't have a whole lot of buildup. We just cleaned these out a week or so ago. But you just take them out, hose them down, and then put them back in.
And the pond has stopped, or the waterfall has stopped already.
The waterfall stopped. So you can see there's all this.
Don't get it on me.
All this fish gunk.
Fish poop.
Fish poop. And this is excellent fertilizer for the garden or the lawn or whatever you would like to use it for. Underneath these 4 different filters, so it goes from here. Let's take a picture of this. So they go from coarsest on the top to finest down on the bottom to help kind of filter out everything.
So it's like the thickest one
Yes.
And then it just gets, so it's black, green, blue, and then
Gray.
thin, or gray, yes.
So then inside of here, there are these are just from fluorescent lights. These separate those sponges from these bioballs, and these are just built, or those are meant to capture good bacteria, and those also help with the scrubbing of the water. You can't see it because the water in here is pretty dirty, but the water exits the filter through the bottom of these pipes, and then it flows up and out into the waterfall. There's not enough clearance between the bottom of this and the bottom of the tank here to where these bioballs they stay in the filter.
So, like, they go through this pipe, and then they travel, and they go out of the water fountain.
Right. So then the last thing that you would need to know about running the pond, aside from the pump, which I just replaced that in October, so it should be good for some time. But I'll link all of the details for that. This little guy down here, he's also brand new. It's a 40-watt UV clarifier. So all the water in the pond flows through there, and it's blasted with ultraviolet light, and it kills any floating algae in the water. So that means that without that, it needs to be replaced probably once a year. The light bulb in there. There's a quartz tube that is out on the outside of the actual fluorescent bulb itself. I've been using this and ones like this for years. Sometimes the ballast needs to be replaced, sometimes all of it needs to be replaced, but you can definitely count on replacing the bulb once a year. And you'll know when it's time, because usually once the weather starts warming up again, first part of the summer, the pond's going to start start to turn a little green and murky, and then you'll know it's time to get that cleaned up, or to replace that bulb. But again, I'll link some details for those are the only two pieces that are that I would say are expensive on the pond. So that's it. That's basically all you have to do. Just clean out these filters once in a while, and the fish will love you for it.
Just remember black, green, blue, gray.